extra.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Good.
So just how, forget about the physicality for the moment, just how emotionally draining was playing Killian for you?
Was it draining? It was tough. Yeah. The emotionality of it was it's on the page, and then there's so much that's not on the page. And I think the part that surprised me the most is that, the scenes where there's no dialogue, and there's nothing to be said. There's just expression. And that to me was a gift, but also that's a different well to dig into, because you don't have someone to feed off of. You have to go into your imagination and then go into another room of your imagination to get into the character's imagination, and hope and pray that that's still going to have the rebound in your body to elicit that type of emotion, and that it's exercise, so you're tired afterwards, like as you would be, depends on what time the crying scene is, because with heightened emotion comes adrenaline, and you'll be high after that, and then but then that's lunch, and then you got to go out and do the next scene, and that's another whole so yeah, it was extremely taxing, but Killian deserved it.
And you're always in such great shape. I mean, you always look great, but the physicality and that opening shot at the beginning of the movie is just like a painting, it's like art. Just what did you do? What did you change up with your workout? Well, say it again. What did you change up with your workout regime, and how many calories were you consuming?
Right. So I was doing about 6,000 calories a day at the time. Mind you, of those 6,000 calories, probably 1,100 of them were shakes, right? Protein shakes, weight gain shakes, stuff like that. But yeah, the eating was tremendous. And as far as like the body goes, it's an art form. Bodybuilding is an art form. And so here we are with acting, which is an art form, on top of bodybuilding, which is an art form. And so my entire time was, on screen and off screen, was consumed by trying to sculpt things. Killian, in the scene with all the other bodybuilders, he's nowhere close to the biggest bodybuilder. But when you look at his body, right, the separation, how he sculpted himself, that takes a different type of work, and you have to put your mind into your muscle to make those things happen,
And how did you do that?
I did that.
How did you do that?
So we talked about the food, but then there was the training. Like we would train certain body parts, 3 to 4 times a week, which is a lot, but we were also on a truncated schedule. If I was to be preparing for a show, right, I got about 6 months. You say I'm 6 months out and you begin, it's a bit harder when you're trying to, I don't know, I've never trained for a show, but I did do the movie. And my coach told me this, like, there was only 1 week in which I wasn't competition ready because of the nature of the show, right, and the shooting schedule, right. So if he's competition ready all the way up to this point, you gotta maintain what a guy tries to peak at after 60 days. After 66 weeks, right. That last day, that's the show, right. So we have to try to do a balancing act of holding that type of aesthetic for that whole time. So the training was very specific. The cardio, the diet, the sleep. If you didn't sleep right, you wake up and you're what they call flat. All your muscles are there, but you're flat. You're not as which is bodybuilding terms. You're not as lumpy as you want to be, you know. And then you get to the point of like, okay, now it is the competition day, so now you've got to pull your water out. You got to pull the salt out. So the food that you finally started to like, now you've got to make it even more bland by taking all the salt out, right? So you can, you know, pull everything out, you know. So it's science, you know, in
so
some
much
ways.
To study.
Yeah.
Was there a bodybuilder that you were emulating? Who did you study? Was there someone you really respected and you based Killian on?
Yeah, I mean, love Ronnie Coleman. You know, he's become a friend of mine. Really, really, really love Ronnie Coleman. And also because of the nature of the film, you know, when Michael Hearn was cast, I looked at him, you know, to see what his thing was, and I went through a YouTube, you know, library and was like looking at all his stuff, you know, and him and Ronnie, I kind of put those things, you know, and Yates. Yates was a big. Are you English?
Yes.
Yeah, so you know Yates.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So he was just beautiful, you know, and he came after. He came before Ronnie, you know, and so, yeah, just kind of watching those guys, and I had to admire them because I now knew what they had to do to get there.
It's incredible what the body went through.
Yeah.
How are you feeling in yourself? Do you feel like this is a new chapter for you now?
Yeah, I absolutely do. You know, I absolutely feel like, I'm in a new space. You know, I feel in my body. I was actually saying to my fiancée a couple nights ago, I was like, I feel different. Like I feel like I'm a different person, you know, in a way. And she concurred. She said, yeah, from when we met to where we are now. And she walked through the 3 iterations of me that she's kind of experienced, and I walked through the 5 iterations of her that I've experienced. You know, the art, the life, the movies, the family, the hardships, the struggling, the falling down, the trying to get back up, all of that, taking all of that and metabolizing all of that, and now turning to a group of people that I've expressed all this, my shortcomings and the traumas I have, you know, even things that, you know, aren't in the news, as it were, you know, expressing those things to them, and then allowing them to help me, you know, do the work, you know, and becoming a bit hungry for that now, you know. Oh, there's a problem. How do I fix this? You know, and not even fix it. How do I grow from this? You know, that's kind of really become the aim and the focus, and the work is the work, you know. Yeah.
We love Meagan. I haven't interviewed Meagan for a long time, but we love Meagan. And just, I think it was last week, it wasn't me, but one of my fellow correspondents was talking to her, and just the love and just how she glows when she talks about you and how lovingly she talks about you. Yeah. Just what has her support meant to you, the support from Meagan and your family?
I mean, Meagan, my family, my my incoming in-laws, you know, it's really been great. You know, I'm not from here. You know, I came out here for her, you know, so we could try this thing out and kind of do this thing. In the midst of all midst of all of it, you know, and her family, just come on, you know, we love her. She loves you. Come on, you know, and that support is just. It kept me alive. You know, I mean, there's no hyperbole there. You know, like it kept me alive. You know, and now it's my lifeblood in many ways. You know, when I say the 3 things I care about most in life are God, family, art. You know, that's all I need. You know, that's all I need. And Meagan is the champion of that. Yeah.
We know she's going to make the most beautiful bride.
She is.